It's not just always the bulb that's blown. There's a ton of other reasons why your UVB bulb has actually stopped working, and we're going to run through them all now. It may just be a quick fix rather than you having to buy an expensive bulb. No long boring intros. I'm Richard, this is Northern Exotics, let's go. The first thing you want to check is your good old fashioned timer. Now these things are used to replicate the 12 hours on and 12 hour off cycle that you will provide your animal if you are supplying UVB. It could be as simple as that has just been knocked and it's hanging out the wall slightly. If it's not fully connected, fully pushed in, it's not going to work. If that is the case with yours, I'd highly recommend readjusting the time. If it's come out the wall, the time would have stopped going round and it will be showing the incorrect time. So adjust it, plug it back in, that should be fixed. Another issue with the timer is these little switches. 9 times out of 10 these do have a little switch to switch it between permanently on or permanently off or onto timer. Just check that, make sure it is in the timer setting, make sure you have got the correct time on the front, make sure it is plugged into the wall. Just a common little fix that's not going to cost you a single penny. Just like that one, some of the fixes in this video are going to be extremely simple, extremely basic. I'm sure they're going to help somebody, but if I don't cover one of them in this video, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. I'm always learning as much as I like teaching you guys. Let's move on to another basic one. On the front of the plug, just here, you have another plug. That's where your UVB socket actually plugs into. That may have the same scenarios. That may be hanging out slightly. It may have fallen out. It may not be seated incorrectly. It may be dirty. Moisture may have got in there. Check the plug there. But while we're talking about the plugs, it might be worth checking the fuse inside the plug. Here in the UK we have a little inline fuse inside the plugs, and it's just a safety net. If the wattage does get too high, it'll blow the fuse rather than cause an electrical fire. Safety first. So it's always worth checking the fuse inside the plug before you go any further. 9 times out of 10 on your UVB box, the great big box, some people call it a starter box, some people call it a ballast box, there is normally a cable that goes from there to the plug. Sometimes there's a little inline switch, just an on-off switch, that may have been knocked, so it's definitely worth checking on that. That's just a quick, easy, free fix. All you do to test it is turn it on and turn it off. See if it makes a difference. Now I know that there is units out there that don't have the big ballast box, the big starter box on them. Things like the Reptile Systems Eco T5 units, the Twin T5 luminaire. It's the same scenario though. They all have an inline switch, they all have a switch on them, and they all have connections into the side. So there is variations between them, but the principle's still the same. I really like the Reptile Systems Twin T5 luminaire unit. That allows you to have basically a sunrise, a sunset, and that higher midday UVB output that, let's say, a bearded dragon would naturally have in the wild. If you want to see a video on that product, I'll leave a card just up here for you to check it out. On some actual ballast boxes, starter boxes, there is normally a switch on that box as well. It may be worth just double checking that again, on, off, see if it makes a difference. Another quick tip and a quick hint for you. This is basically what a starter box looks like. Granted, it's a very old, very dusty starter box that I've just had lying around. I use it as a spare, just in case one of them goes. It came in with a rescue a few years ago. But you'll see this little white cap just here. Well, that is the starter. It's a little starter, that's all it is. They do blow. You do often see them and they have blown. So that's definitely worth doing. Now you can go down the Reptile line of buying these from Arcadia. They sell these exact Phillips ones at Arcadia for around about £5.99 here in the UK. Prices may vary. However, if you type in Phillips and that exact number into Google, YouTube, Amazon, anywhere, they're going to pop up and they're going to be easily less than £1. I'll stick some links down in the description for you to go and check them out for yourself. But they are just a simple push it in, quarter turn, and it's in. So it's dead easy to fit. The next thing you want to check is your connections that go actually into the lamp itself. Are they in correctly? Has the animal knocked them out through the night accidentally? Has the bulb dropped accidentally through the night and knocked it out? Has a snake gotten up to it and moved it? Just make sure they're plugged into the bulb as firmly as you can possibly do. Make sure the insides of these are clean. In some of our arid species, we do have issues with dust. Dust does build up inside there. So it might just be worth giving it a good blow, clean it out, then re-plug it back in, try again. But while you've got your bulb out of here, it might be worth checking the connections on the actual bulb. There's normally 2 little pins that would slot straight into there. Make sure there's no corrosion. That's the big one that I commonly see, especially in the higher humidity terrariums. have a look, see if there is any little bit of corrosion. Now most of these are sort of mist resistant, so to speak, so you don't normally have issues, but it is an issue that could occur, and it's a free one for you to inspect and check out for yourself. So let's say you've tested all of that and it's still not working and everything's pointing towards you've blown your bulb and you're going to have to go out and spend £30–40 on a brand new bulb. One last thing you could do with checking is the bulb the actual problem? Because it could be your actual ballast box itself. That is still an option at this point. The way you can test that is take your bulb, either put it into a different enclosure, see if it works on a different ballast box. I've got a spare ballast box always lying around, so I could use that as a backup. I could plug it into that, plug it into the wall, test it, see if it works. If you don't have that opportunity, or if you don't have any more animals, take it down to your local reptile shop and say, can you do me a favour, can you plug this into one of your units and just see if it works. Some shops may even have a solar meter, be able to put that underneath it to see if your UVB bulb is still kicking out enough ultraviolet index for the species that you're using it for. That'll be the best one to tell you whether your bulb is gone or not, and you'll be able to make a decision from there whether you need a ballast box or whether you need a new UV lamp. Firstly, I just want to highly stress the fact that you should be changing your UV lamps around about every 6 to 9 months if you don't have a solar meter. A solar meter is an expensive piece of kit to see how much ultraviolet light this is actually kicking out. And the reason you're supposed to change it, some people know, some people don't, is fairly common knowledge once you start getting into your reptile keeping. But the light may still be coming off. You may still have perfect light 2 years down the line, but it's still not providing the ultraviolet index that your animal requires to stay healthy. This stops your animal from getting metabolic bone disease. It helps your animal absorb calcium into its bones, along with loads of other natural factors that your animal would naturally get in the wild that it doesn't get in captivity. So make sure you change your bulb every 6 to 9 months. Have you got any UVB horror stories? Let me know in the comments down below. So you've plugged it into the reptile shop's actual UV setup that is known to be working. You've seen it working. He's unplugged his old bulb, he's plugged your bulb in, it's not working. It's time you got yourself a new bulb. Now, a few companies, the UV companies, do provide a guarantee or a warranty with their products. So it might be worth checking into that. If you've only had yours for a few weeks, chances are it's still under warranty and it's guaranteed for you. Failing that, if you've had yours for 6 months and it's blown, get yourself a new bulb. That will work perfectly fine. The new lamps that I'd recommend are the brand new ones from Reptile Systems. They're absolutely amazing. They really are pushing the boundaries of reptile lighting, bringing the most common, most up-to-date information, technological and scientifically proven information directly to you so that you can make the best decision for your animal. This is one here I've just brought from my local reptile shop, Sutton Pets and Exotics. It cost me £21.99. It's Ferguson Zone 2 because it's going into my Callets versicolor enclosure, and he sits at Ferguson Zone 2 on the Ferguson scale. If you want to check out the Ferguson scale to see exactly where your animal lies, I'll leave a link down in the description below so you can make the best decision for your animal. My name's Richard and you've just seen a video by Northern Exotics. On this YouTube channel we talk all things reptile related, so whether it be specific species care, how to breed live food, little reptile life hacks, great hints, tips and advice to help you become a better reptile keeper and to help you out in the process. That's what everything that we do on this channel, so I'd really appreciate it if you did hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers and with your help that is extremely possible. Thanks for watching. I highly appreciate each and every one of you guys for just watching. Even if you've watched, hit the like button, subscribed, anything, I highly appreciate you. Thank you.